Hey Stuart, how you going?
Good. Good evening everyone, welcome to FGME Cast for your Monday night. We're back for another week, and Monday night means just one thing on FGME Cast, and that is the trucks. And we're here tonight at the Charlotte Roval for 30 laps, which I'm sure will be interesting. No cautions tonight, of course, so it is flat out racing from the drop of the flag to that checker that somebody will be hoping to greet tonight. And I'm joined by Carl Withy, as always. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody. Yes, we are here at Charlotte, North Carolina for the Roval tonight. Not quite an oval, not quite a road circuit. It's a bit of both mixed into one giant circuit. Very tricky track. Going to catch a few people out for sure. And you say no cautions tonight. Although coming into turn one, there is always that opportunity that a manual safety car might be thrown if there is such a big accident, just because it is such a tricky corner.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, when I say no cautions, I mean the drivers will probably have to be cautious. These trucks, particularly tricky to drive around a street circuit, and this one, no different, I was going to say, no less difficult being a track within an oval. It's quite a tricky place to navigate. A lot of off-camber corners and blind corners as well that will catch you out if somebody has an incident in front of you. That one you mentioned, turn one, definitely one of those places. The pit exit as well is a little tricky. So there's a chance for plenty of incidents here this evening.
Yeah, carnage is going to be one of the main factors of this race. It's very easy to get it wrong, very easy for a mistake to cost another driver as well, but it's very easy to cost yourself the race too. It's one of those tracks where it is so easy to make a mistake and lose it. There are so many walls that are close by. It's a little bit like racing at Monaco, because the walls are so close to the circuit. If you make a mistake, that's it. It is your night over and done with if you hit hard enough.
Absolutely, just a big cheerio to Trev Mickelmore. Jumped straight into the broadcast, settled in for another night with a good call. I love the compliment as always, but we'll see whether or not your man can get the job done. Just currently sitting in P14, just in the warm-up here, or in the practice. Probably all done for their practice, but in the warm-up anyway. Andrew Dyson, the man on screen fastest so far in the 041 DPF entry. Nice view of the hill there, plenty of good grass. To have played with some of the camera angles tonight, they were not quite doing it justice.
No, that's it. I was wondering when DPR changed to DPF. Hopefully, Josh Mickelmore will be racing with binocular vision tonight rather than monovision. Hopefully, the bee sting will have gone down a little bit. Unfortunately, Josh is getting stung last week in the just underneath the eye and causing him to be basically, effectively, only able to see out of one eye for a couple of races last week. So hopefully, all is well this week.
Yeah, and didn't have a massive impact on his driving ability. I don't think he finished outside the top 5.
No, I think it actually made him go faster, if anything. So if you want to go quicker, get stung by a bee.
Shots fired. Speaking of people to watch tonight, Carl, if you've got it there, I'm going to put you on the spot as always. An update in the driver's standings as we are halfway through Season 3 2021. Unbelievable, we're halfway through Season 3 already.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we are getting up to that point. It's not quite the halfway point. That's next week, of course, at Eldora. A very, very different place, Eldora, but we'll get to that later on, of course. But standings-wise, it is, I believe, Mr. Jason Martin in the lead, unsurprisingly, with 2 wins this season. Jason Martin is having a fantastic start to his truck season. He's 12 points ahead of Dave Douglas in second. Josh Mickelmore is also in joint second place, so having a really good run for the Mitch boys. Dave Douglas just separating those two just on count back. Matty Raymond is sitting in 4th position, 18 off the lead, 21 points off the lead. In 5th position is Scott Griffiths. Really good start to the season for Scott. Very consistent this season. No big top 5 finishes, but consistently been inside the top 10. Luke Traher sits in 6th, 24 points down. 27 points down is Danny G, 27 points off the lead. 28 points off the lead is Ryan Jones in 8th. 9th is Stevie Dubb, the Season 1 truck champion. 29 off the lead. 34 points down in 10th is Mr. Andrew Dyson. And I'd say he's probably going to be moving up a couple of positions after tonight's race because he is a bit of a road course specialist.
Yeah, absolutely, Dyso, a road course specialist, that is no doubt. And I was just going to say, actually, just looking at the drivers at the top there, little bit of road experience coming out. Jason Martin said he was going to be interested to see how this one goes. Not one where he would favour himself, but he certainly will be up the front, you would suspect. But Andrew Dyson currently sitting at the top during practice. Michael Skurlock in second, Aidan Schultz in third. That's good for him up there as well. And Luke Traher fourth, Riley Curtis fifth. So it's going to be a kind of a different race. Lachlan Capel jumping back in for the evening tonight. Sure. So that's an interesting one. Runner-up in the AM class of the Oz Pro Am Sim Series. So he will be an interesting one to watch. We haven't seen Lockie out for a while.
No, that's it. Last time we saw Lachlan Capel out, he ended up here in the booth, I believe. He finished up in P3, I think it was.
Yeah, podium on debut.
So, yeah, very, very strong driver, Lachlan Capel. Very, very quick driver as well. So expect to see him to go well here on this road course. Very different very different vehicle to be driving. GT3 is very different to one of these trucks. Much more horsepower in one of these things. No traction control, of course. No ABS. No great suspension system.
No downforce. Narrow tyres. Too much power. It's the perfect recipe for a race car, really.
That's it. It has a chassis, it has 4 wheels. I think that's about all it shares with the GT3 car. Very, very different beast, and something that is going to be very different for him to drive as well. So be interesting to see how he does in this one for sure. But good to see him out there again. Nice to see him having a run out there as well. One of the younger drivers in the sim racing community, and don't let his age fool you, because he is wise beyond his years for sure, and he is constantly learning as well. And that's the scary thing, is he is learning and getting quicker every single race. He gets quicker and learns more, and that's never a fun thing when you're a bit older. You're like, god damn it, these kids these days.
Yeah, nice guy as well. So we'll keep an eye on Lockie as we get through the evening there. He's currently running in 6th, not too shabby at all when you say he's in front of the likes of Jason Martin and Danny G, of course, who snuck onto the podium in the chase race last Thursday night. Dave Douglas, don't expect him to sit down too long. Stevie Dubb down the grid a little bit as well. That's pretty normal, along with Matty Ray, so we'll get to see them make their way up here. It's going to be difficult to pass tonight, though.
Well, it can be a bit tricky. I mean, you're going to be trying to force the driver in front of you to make a bit of a mistake. There are a few good passing opportunities, especially down towards the sort of bus stops, so turn 11 and turn 15 off the oval section, of course. They are good positions where you can sometimes make a bit of a move, especially down towards turn 15 before the start-finish line. We'll go over that a little bit more in the track guide later on. But this section here through past the pit lane, it can be a bit tricky, and just out of the sort of twisty section onto the oval can be very tricky as well, because it is quite tight there. It's very easy to make a mistake, and you can capitalize on that. So it's very easy to get loose up through those sections, and very easy to capitalize on somebody else's mistake. They run wide just a tiny bit, you can absolutely pounce on them, and all of a sudden you're going to gain a position or two.
Yeah, very much so. So the trick here is going to be getting moves done cleanly, and as you say, not making too many mistakes with the 30 odd laps that we're going to be doing here tonight. Let's have a quick look at the track conditions as they sit. 53 degrees on track, intense heat on track. That's going to have an effect on tyres and tyre management. You might see the drivers not go out too hard at all on that first flying lap. They might, certainly not on the warm-up before they get out into qualifying. That first lap probably be pretty timid, I imagine, as they try and preserve the tyre, not get too much heat into it too early on, and give themselves the best chance to make that first lap a success, or at the best the second lap if they can do it. So have a look at that when they get out on track. 29 degrees ambient, so that's a ripper here. 53 degrees.
Yeah, it's quite a warm bit of asphalt there, and look, the tyres on these things will get hot, of course, and as we said, these things, they get hot at the rear as well, and that's going to be the thing. Keeping the rear tyres somewhat alive is going to be key here, because you're doing a lot of accelerating here. The fronts, of course, they get a lot of punishment because you're doing a lot more turning than they're used to. But the rear, if you're a bit trigger happy on the accelerator pedal, will go off very quickly. So the drivers that tend to have a bit of a more smooth driving style, or a little bit smoother on their pedals, they will get a huge advantage here tonight, be able to go a little bit longer, be able to keep those tyres fresher. Watch out for the undercut, because that's going to be a big advantage. Whoever comes in first, if say somebody pits on lap 15, and somebody stays out to lap 16, they are going to struggle to keep up with them. Of course, you do have fresher tyres for the end of the race, but if there's only a 1 lap difference, it's not as noticeable. That's it. So you might see somebody stick it out there, take some early punishment, and then come out on much fresher tyres and try and take advantage of that, but they will lose a lot of time. So it's just getting that trigger pulled at the right time. We saw, of course, if you've watched the IndyCar race from Laguna Seca this morning, no spoilers, but a driver made a huge advantage on those much fresher tyres towards the end of the race.
I was going to jump on with Daiso here, but we're going to jump on with Lachlan Capel instead, only because we get this very attractive looking camera here from the roof of the car, so we're going to have a look at that one instead. Let's get that other thing off the screen there. And we'll just wait for Lockie to make his way around. We're going to put the pressure on him. And I'll bring that leaderboard up just in a moment or two. This bit here we were talking about, we'll get Carl to run us through. I won't spoil anything, but it's a funny thing. People, I think, probably think this is a pretty simple track to drive just because it's a circuit within an oval, so there can't be that much to it. But it's a fantastic place to race, very challenging to keep the car on the track, or the track in this case. And if you look for a likeness, a little similar in driving to the V8 supercar that we all know, and that's why a lot of the guys that are quick in this generally, you find, are quick on a road course, are generally pretty quick in the V8 supercar as well.
Yeah, that's it. It's sort of a little bit similar in that respect, just lots of power. So coming in to the final sector now, we're going to come across the start-finish line and start our lap here. Getting a good run out of that corner is important. Onto the oval we go for a brief moment into turn number 1. Very tight left-hander, dropping it down to around about first, second gear. Through this tight section now, over the crest of the hill of turn number 2, down towards turn number 3 and 4. This section, you need to just get the apex right. It's almost a double apex corner here. Now you're going to be going uphill towards turn number 5. Just goes a little bit off there, takes a nice lot of runoff. Turn 5 is a tricky uphill corner. You're going to go over the crest of turn 6. This is where a lot of people will make a mistake. You can tag that wall on the inside and you will lose the rear here as you go through the dip down towards turn number 7. The left-hander, watch out for that wall on the outside as you come back onto the oval itself through turn number 8. Cut across the inside there. Get back on the power as soon as possible. This is where you need to make up that speed. Long turn 14, of course, through the oval section. It's going to take you into the first of the bus stops, so turn 10 and 13. So in we come, left, right. This one you can take a bit more speed through. Watch out for the big blue sausage curbs. Use as much exit as you can. You don't want to go too quickly onto the banking because it will unsettle the truck and it can cause you to spin. Onto the banked oval again. Around we go. Towards turn 15. This one is a tricky one as it doubles back on itself. You've almost got to turn around completely, catch the curves perfectly there, gets nice towards the wall. Lachlan Capel up there in P1 at the moment with a 23.39. A very good lap.
Flying lap. Done a really good job there, Lockie, to get that across the line. And Andrew Dyson just pips him there at the moment by 9/100. So we'll stick this with this one. Let's get this tower back up so people can keep an eye on what's going on. Get rid of that stuff across the bottom there as well. And just have a quick look at how this all transpires. So Lockie's got around for his second lap here. Aidan Schultz has jumped up into 3rd. Troy Davison 4th. Good result for him so far, with Christopher Finlay in 5th. Fair few drivers still to qualify. Jason Martin's out on his warm-up lap, as is Josh Mickelmore. Steve Williams about to complete his first flying lap. Luke Trahair jumps up into 3rd position with a 23.47. So some good performances here. There's going to be pressure up at the front.
I was about to say, watch out for Luke Trahair because he's one of those drivers that is very quick on the road course. Trahair had a good weekend in the V8s, apparently.
Yeah, I got up with the win there with the FGM Cast 981 Motorsport team for a win at Bathurst, so that was a good result for us.
Despite having the penalty of you driving with them, it's just incredible stuff, Stuart.
Absolutely, yeah, no, we did well. 4 incident points for the race, and that was only me. So we did reasonably well across the 50 laps, and managed to take out the split that we were in. It wasn't a remarkably high split, but you've only got to beat the people you're racing with. You can't do any more than that.
Congratulations on that. A win, a big win indeed, and good to see as well. It's nice when they come like that. So I'm just currently watching Aaron Hayden at the moment in the 59. Just coming through the final sector. How will this first lap be for him? Getting across the line and jumps up to P18 at the moment. So we'll want to try and improve on that if can. One of the newcomers to the series and a new face to the series I've not seen before. So it's nice to see some fresh faces out there. Always fun.
Kay Donnelly's just jumped up into 4th place. 1:23.59 his first lap out. Some of the
Riley Curtis as well, because I imagine Riley's going to set a decent time in the Stay Humble. Stay Humble car, of course. Riley Curtis the 93. Josh Micklemore jumping up to P8 as well. Nice lap from him. His qualifying's been a bit of a bogey for Micklemore as of late, but a really good qualifying lap from Micklemore there. He's going to be pretty happy with that one. Definitely something he struggled with in the past couple of races, and it has cost him a little bit. Now, how does Riley Curtis do in the 93? Gets it across the line. Very pretty paint job done, of course, by Riley Curtis Designs. Does that jump him up? He must have got an incident on that lap.
First lap.
No, first lap. Okay.
Yeah, that was his warm-up, so he is on his flyer now. I think he's just clipped the wall, though. I'll just have a look for some damage there on the back of the truck. No, nothing indeed, so maybe just my eyesight giving out at the ripe old age of 37.
Yeah, I'm just going back to have a look at that one, and no, you were right, he did indeed clip the wall, so just a tiny tap on that right-hand side, so that's going to be aborted on this lap, and you can see he slowed down straight away, and he's just trying to cool those tyres down, so watch out for that one. Mr. Scurlock is out there as well. So how will Mickey Scurlock do tonight? We will find out, I'm sure. One of those other drivers that's pretty good on the old road circuit, Scurley. We saw him do some great racing. He was racing in the Formula V's, I think it was, and taking out, I think, second place in the championship overall in that series. And up into P3 he goes.
Strong result there, 123.4. So the standout tonight so far, Dyson obviously 1 second clear at the front, but Capel and Scurlock there with 1/100th between them at this point in time, between Capel and Scurlock, and then you've got Trahere and Donnelly rounding out our top 5. So unusual for us not to have 2 or 3 cars at the front on exactly the same lap time for once, Carl.
Yeah, very much so. It's nice to see not even laps, but they are pretty close up there as well. Daiso, Capel, both setting very reasonably close lap times. Dyson, Capel, Scurlock, I should say, setting very close lap times. Andrew Dyson's managed to set a 22.2, almost a second clear at the moment. That is a ridiculously fast lap for Daiso, as we did kind of expect. We know that he is quick, but will he come a cropper tonight with that heat? That might be something that catches him out a little bit tonight.
So you were the one last week warning myself and Scotty about losing our licenses for potentially, throwing out shadows as commentators early in the broadcast, Carl.
Was the commentator's curse? Look,
wanted to heed some of your own advice.
That was championship positions. This is just start of the race. That's allowed.
I didn't realise there were levels of curse.
Oh yes, very much so. There are different levels of curse you can throw out, of course. If you say somebody's going to win a championship, they will not win a race ever again, of course. But no, definitely looking good for Daiso. But it's not over yet, as I said. He has to be a bit careful of those tyres tonight. If he's going a bit too quick tonight, he could possibly burn up those tyres a little bit and come to struggle a little bit towards the end. How does Riley Curtis do? He gets across the line and manages to go up into P8. Nice lap there in the 93.
I guess it gives him the advantage of being able to manage his race a little bit too. If he can build a lead, knowing that there's going to be that there shouldn't be any caution periods. If he can build a lead, he'll be able to maintain it and manage his race, manage the pit stop where he can. Dave Douglas, Double D's just jumped into too many corners for stock cars. Dave, yes, absolutely, mate. There's plenty, but we're sure you will recover from down there. Unfortunately, not setting a time in 28th position, but we know you'll do better than that, mate. Look forward to seeing it. Oh, Josh Micklemore jumps in, says he agrees. Poor old Josh jumping in at P11. Going to be a Daiso demo run, reckons Edward Foster. Yeah, probably will be, but we'll see. You never know what happens in the big city.
The question is how many of the drivers have got the track map up on their steering wheel just so they know which way they're going. That tells you who is taking it seriously tonight. If they've got the track maps glued to their steering wheel so they know where the corners are, we know who's taking it seriously tonight.
Riley Curtis says it's bloody hot out there. Yeah, Riley, it is. Mount Panorama on the weekend for the 1000 touched 60 degrees though, so you guys have got it made at 53.
Oh, only 60 degrees. Oh,
there's somebody in iRacing who thinks that Mount Panorama is located in the middle of bloody Central Australia, I'm sure, but of course we know it's not. So anyway, enough of that discussion.
All Australia's the same. It's all about kangaroos and hot.
Absolutely it is. Yeah. It's all the same to everybody who doesn't live here. Right, we've got Andrew Dyson with a dominating performance on pole position. Lachlan Capel in second place. Then it's Skirley and Trahair off second row with Donnelly and Schultz off row 3. Then it's Jason Martin, Riley Curtis off 4 with Davison and Finlay off 5. Then Josh Micklemore and Luke Georgeson off row 6, excuse me. Then we roll it back a page, or forward a page, back a page. Justin Howe, Lachlan Urquio, then it's Wayne Priest and Scotty Griffiths. Then we've got Danny G and Todd Maxfield off row 9, Matty Hunter and Tristan Cock off row 10, Stevie Williams and Philip Howe off 11 with Norm Clark and Noddy Tompkins off 12. Got a good field here tonight with Ben Vickers and Aaron Hayden off 13, Dave Douglas, Matty Ray off 14, Igor Burkic, Daniel Weaver off 15, and it is Bob Clement rounding out the 31 starters for this round of the ANZCAR Truck Series live on FGME Cars. You can see them all there lined up. It's one of the things I love about NASCAR racing. They line all the cars up at the start while they all head out behind. It'll be the pace truck tonight to get this one underway.
Big problem, of course, is the drivers aren't all standing across from the cars and have to run towards the cars to start them. That's the only thing that's missing out there.
Yeah,
there's nothing like seeing who can run the fastest to start their car. The good old days of motorsport.
Yeah, before they worried about safety quite so much.
It's okay. Drivers bounce off bonnets, they're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They're malleable.
Yeah, that's it. You can find replacement drivers, a ten a penny. That should be a good race tonight, though. As I said, as is stated, heat is going to be a tricky one tonight. It is going to be hot, and it is going to be one of those things to watch out for. The heat of the tyres is going to be key tonight. It should be a single stop. I don't think anyone's going to really think about doing more than one stop tonight. But we have been surprised in the past. We might see a couple of people rolling the dice a little bit, seeing if that works. But you do lose a lot of time in pit lane, although there is a lot of time that can be gained as well. So it is that thing of risk and reward, gaining time, losing time. Now, one of the things to watch out for in this section is actually getting away from the grid and getting to the start-finish line, especially through this very tight section here as they go side by side. It's such a tricky section to go side by side through turns 1, 2 and 3 that even when you're doing it at low speed behind the pace car, it's still very, very tricky. So hopefully everybody will be all good.
Scotty's just jumped into the chat and says, "Go team after dark. Good luck, Luke and Aaron." Let's make sure to give them some coverage there for you, Scotty, as we get through the night. Just say Carl 2x2. Might work for the Ants going marching in, but it's going to be tough here. Start of the race.
Good qualifying for Luke Georgeson up there at P12, so nice qualifying from him up there for the After Dark team. Team After Dark, sorry. So good for him, and as I said, pointed out Aaron Hayden as well, new to the series as well, so nice to see a new face out there. Not the qualifying he would have wanted for sure, but starting down towards the back is not always a bad thing. If there's a big accident in the front of the pack, then if you pick your way through, you can make up a lot of positions.
There's plenty of love in the room for After Dark Racing, so boys there got plenty of wings on their shoulders for this evening's race. Good to see a few comers into the chat as well. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, pleasure to have you all with us for the first time. We love seeing a few new faces out there, and as we said, we love seeing some new drivers out there as well, because it is all about that. We love seeing some fresh faces, both the stream and on the track as well. Makes it exciting. The pace truck is coming up towards the first set of bus stops now. We'll soon be going around the final set of corners and getting it ready. Who are you putting your money on tonight, Stuart? Who are you putting the curse onto?
You won't thank me for it. We're going to put money on Luke, just to Luke Trahair, just for an outsider. I mean, I think Daiso, unless some sort of alien invasion or catastrophe happens on tracks, probably got this one sewn up. But we'll see how he goes. Works incredibly quick in these, so he's where my money is tonight.
I'm not going to rock the boat at all. I'm going to go Daiso, of course, but I think Lachlan Capel might give him a bit of a run for his money tonight.
Hope he does. Incredibly good young talent. So, pace truck pulls in. When will we go green?
and they will be going around the final corner, and it goes green, and we are racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the road course, of course. It is Charlotte. Roval Dyson gets a good start there, away nice and quickly. Watch out for the rest of the field filing through that chicane. They get away neatly, of course. No passing before the line in ANZCAR competition, and you've got to make sure to hold the line as well. So Dyson might get a little bit of a slap on the wrist for that one, because he did cut across quite quickly. But Dyson does get a good start. They all look to be cleanly through the first set of corners at the moment. Good job, good start from all.
And the Godfather, Edward Foster's put the kiss of death on Aidan Schultz. Said he was pretty quick here in the Weekend Warriors series. So Aidan starting there in 6th position, already up 1 spot into 5th.
Oh, do we really need to put more jinxes on Aidan Schultz? I mean, he carries most of them himself, so he's got a car full of black cats most of the time. Hopefully tonight they won't escape and he can have a good finish. We will be looking on to the Aussier entry, of course, the one with the kangaroos on it, Aidan Schultz. Riley Curtis getting a fairly decent start as well, running up there in P7, managing to gain a spot already as they are filing through. Lachlan Capel gets a big tank slapper on. That's going to give Scully the opportunity to make a bit of a run on him in the oval section. So you can see Scully there just getting that little bit of advantage. You get a little bit of a tow as you come through this section, and now coming towards the final set of corners. Will Scully be brave on the brake pedal? Just takes it easy on this first couple of laps. Doesn't take too many risks. A lot of curb on the exit of the corner, but keeps it right on the back of Capel at the moment, putting pressure on him as it stands, as there is a bit of a check-up a bit further back. I think Troy Davidson might have just got a little bit of a tag from Josh Micklemore just into the final chicane. Yeah, just a little tag in the back from Micklemore. Micklemore just not braking hard enough. Troy Davidson getting caught out by that one and getting a slow down penalty as well. So unfortunate there for Troy Davidson in the Simboys entry. That's going to hurt him, and all the 024 is pretty much out.
Yeah, Igor Burkic there, parking it in the wall, having to call the pit doctor, and he is off. Lachlan Erkio as well, looking like he's had an issue. So just go back quickly and have a look at that one. They scrapped too much of the sausage. Oh, you can't say that on air. Scrapped too much of the curb there. Just unsettled the truck. Probably put a bit of heat into those tyres, and off he goes around. And fortunately, no one else caught in that. And up on the inside of the track there, but that's going to make it a bit tough for Lockie for the rest of this evening. But Andrew Dyson, 3 seconds to the good already.
Lucky he didn't get slammed into after grabbing that. So good job from Dyso with the start there, running away at the moment. Scully is up into P2 though. He hasn't managed to get past Lachlan Capel. So Scully is on the move. He's going to be the one trying to chase down Dyso. How will this one go? I'm just going back to see when Scully made that move. He got it done through the twisty section, so just actually through the midfield corner, just through turn 5. So nice pass there from Scully. He is definitely on a bit of a charge at the moment, but Dyson is very much in control. He's got a 3.5 second lead already.
Yeah, we'll just bring that one up on the screen now.
So nice move there, just down the inside. Scully just absolutely positioning the car perfectly. Just runs off the road a little bit. Nice bit of hip and shoulder there. No contact though. Very nice move though from the 350. Just saying to young Capel, look, you might have youth on your side, but I have the magnificent mutton stash, and I will take that position. Scully there, just dominating his way through.
Yeah, no, good move there. Elbows out, with plenty of racing room given, and fortunately the runoff there as well. So Scully up into P2 early on in this one. So far 23.2 by Andrew Dyson, fastest lap of the race last time around. And he is now 3 seconds to the good, nearly 4 seconds to the good in front of Michael Scully. We've got this good pack here: Lachlan Capel, Luke Hare, Aidan Schultz, and Cade Donnelly making his way up towards the back of this pack as well.
It's something that we actually missed when Lachlan was having his accident. Justin Howe had pretty much the same accident, just a little bit further down the track. So they basically did exactly the same thing. Justin Howe ran a bit wider than Lachlan just caught a bit of grass on his rear tyre and really damaged the front of that car. So Justin Howe in pit lane getting some repairs done from that one, but pretty much a mirror incident.
It's a tricky corner, that one. catch some of the drivers out at some stage, I'm sure, particularly as the tyres get older. Ben Vickers looks like he's had an incident as well. Let's go back and have a look.
So let's see what happens.
Turn one.
Yeah, turn one, a very tricky corner, and he's already got some damage on the rear there, so it looks like he's had somebody just tag the rear of him, and he just goes straight in there, understeer central, and just goes straight into the wall. That's a big hit.
Yeah, that's going to impact on that car's ability to turn. You would certainly think. There's Blucher here now coming under threat from Hayden Schultz. Look out the back of the Nightcall Racing entry. Schultz there, trying to look for a move underneath, not quite able to get it go. Slash and go graphics, great job on the livery of the Nightcall Racing entry. Hayden Schultz there, having a good look, not quite able to get it done. Schultz, he's ready. Let's jump on the back of the Trahere 43 entry. Schultz all over him.
Hey, Donnelly also caught up with this. Kay Donnelly is just sitting right behind Schultz at the moment, so this is a free car battle at the moment, as Kay Donnelly just gets a bit of blinking there, unfortunately for him in the 40, but those three are nose to tail at the moment, really putting the pressure on each other, and that's going to make things a little bit tricky, and of course this is going to help people like Riley Curtis and Jason Martin catch up to this group as well. So watch out for those cars, those trucks catching up to this pack as they battle on.
Jump back and check in with Luke George for all his adoring fans. Currently still sitting in P11, up one spot. Doing a good job, just maintaining the pace at the moment.
Yeah, keeping a good pace there, just keeping in a good position as well, just showing that that qualifying pace was not a fluke, and he is able to keep that sustained pace as well with 5 laps in, 25 remaining, of course. Up at the front, got Trahere just battling it off Hayden Schultz. Those two cars are so close at the moment as they go through the final chicane, nose to tail as they went through there. And you can see Kate Donnelly just putting on the pressure as well. These 3 trucks are right in it at the moment, and there is no room to be given. Any one of them makes a slight mistake, they will jump on that and be able to make a pass position. You can see Schultz really trying to put the pressure on Trahere, trying to get into the corner a little bit earlier, and that's going to give somebody like Kate Donnelly a little bit of a chance to go a little bit wider, get a little bit more speed off the corners as well. So as Hayden Schultz is battling it out there with Luke Trahere, Kate Donnelly's just sitting there going, yeah, keep on fighting, boys, keep on fighting, this is going to help me out.
Yeah, absolutely, and the question is how much tyre is going to be spent trying to get this move done. Schultz is battling away, obviously he's stuck in behind Trahere as well, so not a bad move for Kate just to jog on the spot a little bit, see how this one plays out. Conserve a little bit of tyre life, and you might be able to get the move done on both of them in a few laps time. Oh, little swagger there under brakes from Trahere, and then again on the exit, Schultz just can't find a way at the moment. Just couldn't quite get a good enough run out of the exit of the infield onto the banking, and now he's susceptible, I should say, to Kate Donnelly. Donnelly's having looked at the inside. Schultz to be able to defend here, going down. Great pictures out of the back of the Nightcall Racing car. Get have a look at both of those drivers. Kate lost a lot then, got real wide, almost quite enough to hit the wall, you'd think. And Schultz lives to see another day. He's now got a bit of work to do to catch up onto the back of Trahere.
Yeah, Schultz just giving him a little bit of hip and shoulder action there, just moving him a little bit in the corner, blocking him off a little bit. So nice move there between those two. And Kate Donnelly's just going to have to catch back up to that battle now. So he'll be trying to catch up there, and he'll also have that red mist probably descending a little bit in his eyes as he got just taken a little bit out of the action by Hayden Schultz. We've got a good battle going on with Danny G at the moment, and the 16 of Todd Maxfield as well. Those are battling away for position. Danny G, the silent assassin, we saw him sneak his way into the Cup top 3 last week out of nowhere, just appear as if by magic, getting that P3 position. Yeah,
absolutely. Still not mystified by him being there, but by his quiet approach to the podium. Stevie Dubb just behind him as well. So battle here developing. Another one of the Simboys entries. Troy Davison just jumped on the back here. Matty Hunter not too far off in the distance as this battle continues to develop. Another one that's now going is Riley Curtis, Jason Martin. 3/10 here between Curtis and Martin. You can see out the front there, that's Straher and Schultz. You've also got off in the distance, Skurlock and Capel. That gap's closed between Skurlock. Oh, as he gets a little bit loose there on the exit. Too much of the go juice for the 93, and that's allowed Martin to catch up a little bit more.
Yeah,
Tyres will be off a bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is where the tyres will just start dropping off a little bit. That rubber will be getting a little bit worn, and you just got to be careful of it popping. Nobody likes it when a rubber pops on them. Oh, as a round goes Todd Maxfield. Big instant for Todd Maxfield coming out of the chicane. He's gone completely around. Just going to have a little look at that one again. I think he's just lost it going over into one of the big sausages. And around he goes. Just gets on the power a little bit too early. Gets squirrely down the front straight. Gets a bit of contact from behind from Danny G. And that spins him around.
Nothing Danny G could do about that there is the bystander in it. Maxfield's decided that it's a better idea to jump out of that one. If we jump back on board here with Andrew Dyson, who's just out for a casual Sunday jog.
Yeah, Dyson just sitting out there, just casually, just chipping away at the moment, enjoying himself, just having a bit of a lone time out there at the moment. But he's just got to be careful because, as I say, if somebody like Skurlock or Capel comes in a little bit early, they gain quite a bit of time on him with fresh tyres, come out in front of him, and it can be tricky to pass here sometimes. So they might be thinking about doing a bit of that undercut. We'll see how that one works out.
Yeah, absolutely. As Aaron Hayden looks like has had an issue, so let's bring that one up on the replay.
So coming down towards the bus stop here, the first set. Looks like he's just lost that rear a little bit and then gone across the sausage curb, spun it round, then done the big flick, got it back around, of course, and then underway once more. You just got to be a bit careful when doing that because the rear tyres do get very, very hot, and there's a lot of cars coming up towards him as well. So he's been looking at his timing sheets. You can see Pinocchio there got really close to him, and he's actually managed to get past him as well. So Urquio has managed to get past Hayden. As up front, we've got Schultz and Traher at the moment side by side as they come through turn number 5 up towards turn number 6. Schultz has got the position made, and absolutely beautiful pass there by Hayden Schultz, but Luke Traher hasn't seen the end of this yet. Traher could get a good run off. He just needs to get a great run off this corner. He could possibly do something under brakes at the end of this bit of straight.
Absolutely, that was a replay there, but you're right, he could have got that done. So it is still on here for 4th and 5th position. Lachlan Capel's checked out. He's just managing his business behind Michael Skurlock. You can see them just off in the distance there. So this battle's still one of the closest on track as we speak. Dave Douglas, Tristan Cock fighting away here as well. So Dave Douglas down underneath. Looks like he's going to get that move done. Douglas up 9 positions now. So making his way through the field up into 18th.
Yeah, the Big D is working his way through the field nice and quickly. Double D Dave Douglas, of course, former commentator, showing that commentators have got pace out on track. Curse has happened. Curse of the commentator there. Completely curse of the commentator. I take full responsibility for that. Sorry about that, Dave. Losing it out the chicane there. A bit too much power on. He's got a bit of damage on the front as well. That was sustained a bit earlier in the race, but Dave Douglas absolutely losing that rear end, and that's going to be... he's going to have a loose rear for the rest of the lap now.
There's a lot of innuendo in the broadcast tonight, Carl. I'm not sure if I'm loving it or not liking it at all, but we'll keep it going anyway. Loose ends, lots of sausage anyway. We'll move on.
Just you brought up the sausages. That wasn't me. Don't blame me for all of this.
Who made the rubber joke? Who made the rubber joke? Oh dear me. Anyway, that's where we're at on a Monday. So tune in tomorrow night to see how much further the stream drops down. In fact, we're not on tomorrow night. We've got a night off. Maybe that's the problem. Matty Ray, another one up 5 positions as the camera drops away here. So I'm going to have arthritis in the fingers after tonight on the cameras. But Matty Ray moved up 5 positions. He's now up behind Aaron Hayden, who's recovering from that spin. And Aaron Hayden has done well to keep that out there, along with Ben Vickers. Lachlan Urquio recovering as well. And of course, Dave Douglas, who we saw in that spin just before in front of them. So this pack will compress. As just in the background there, I think Norm Clark just gets real loose.
That was a big moment there for the Natari car. He managed to save it though. Quick hands of the veteran Norman Clark. Really good save there from him. Great job of just keeping that car alive. Meanwhile, Andrew Dyson is busy just getting a few people lapped right now. He's just lapping Noddy Tompkins at the moment, and I think he's catching up to Norman Clark and Matty Raymond in a short bit of time, so watch out for that one, because he is absolutely flying at the moment in the Phoenix Smokers DPR car. Daiso doing his usual magic out on the twisty courses, of course. But one of the big things we said about Daiso this year is he has been having a great season on the ovals as well, not just the road courses. He has been improving everywhere, and that's a scary prospect for everyone. Meanwhile, Skurlock has got a little bit of a gap over Capel. Capel is just catching up to him now, though. So those two are setting pretty much even lap times. They've been going at it for a while. Skurlock's got a little bit more pace, but Capel's just holding onto the back there. Aidan Schultz has managed to make a bit of a gap over Luke Trahair. Just as I say that though, he just gets very close to the wall. A little bit of damage to the front of the 52 there. Not going to affect him too much though. Luke Trahair sitting there in 5th position with Kay Donnelly in 6th at the moment. He's catching back up to that pack. Jason Martin having a really good run in P7. Started 7th, is sitting 7th, just in front of Riley Curtis, Christopher Finlay, and in P10 is Joshy Micklemore as well. So Jason Martin, he is the first to tell you that he's not as confident on the road circuits, on the street circuits, as some of the other drivers, but he has been improving immensely, and again, another solid run from Jason Martin.
It's been a little while. We spoke about the Aussie esports liveries last week on the stream, and at that stage we're having a look at the livery of Ruben Phelps, Aidan Schultz's teammate, and we'll have a chat about the Kiwi Australian version. This camera here is just allowed us to have a look at the lid, the deck lid of Aidan Schultz's 52 entry, and I didn't realise, it's a little bit difficult to see when we get to send the photos and that, but it was all Australian slang across the boot of the livery there. So you got Flamin' Heck and you reckon Bonza mate, all the local lingo. So she'll be right. It's all good on the back there of Schultz's livery. I love it.
Bloody oath, mate. It's an absolute ripper, that job. It's an absolute ripper.
That is horrendous, Carl. Absolutely friggin' horrendous.
Sorry, I'll go back to being British now.
I was going to say, stick with the white glove stuff, mate. Stick with the white glove stuff. Ooh, Trahair gets loose in the background there. It's probably one of my favourite camera angles, actually, but we've probably run it a bit too much. But you can see there the rest of the Aussie Esports livery there, done by Ruben Phelps. Cracking job. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really nice. The camera angle's looking fantastic on the stream tonight, and they are really showing up the best of the Roval, which is great to see, because it is a track that it's not exactly loved by everybody, the Charlotte Roval, but it is a really fun place to race. And these trucks, it's not an easy thing to race in, because they are very tricky to get around. They're tricky to hustle around a track like this, but they are such fun things to drive. Andrew Dyson,
sorry.
Very close there, just as they were getting past some cars. Just going to mention Andrew Dyson. He is now starting to set some quick lap times. Daiso has seen the little bit of a challenge coming from Michael Skurlock. He was just setting some quick laps beforehand. All of a sudden, Dyson has just started setting 25s. So Skurley 26.4, Andrew Dyson 25.5, just absolutely flying at the moment. Really good run from him.
You sort of don't get a lot of the press when you're that far in front, but it just shows you how good Daiso is on these courses. We've seen over the 2021 year multiple lockouts by DPR on circuit racing events that we've held, whether it be in the Thunder Series, the Cup, or the trucks. So they are certainly a very strong outfit on these circuit races.
They are indeed, but don't forget, we've seen them improving on the ovals as well. Of course, first race of the chase they managed to get a full lockout. Absolute fantastic stuff by all of their drivers. So you know they're quick on the tracks. Of course, they're quick on the twisty stuff. But back in Darlington, they showed that they had what it takes to get quick on the ovals as well. And Daiso himself getting a few wins on some of the ovals too. He is really improving, and it is just one of those things. He is a real big threat now to all of the drivers, and everybody knows it in that 041.
Absolutely. Pearson, his teammate, just jumping into the chat, saying we all love Daiso. We certainly do. Good team and good character to have around the community. But he is out well and truly in front here tonight. 11 and a half seconds to the good ahead of Michael Skirlock. Riley Curtis has jumped into pit lane, so he's getting it done.
He's pulled the trigger we're on lap 15, so Curtis is pulling the trigger now. He's pulled the trigger of that grenade and he is coming in, so we'll see how that one goes. He is gonna be quick when he gets back out there. Of course, you've got to get tyres back up to temperatures. You have to be careful on cold tyres. No tyre blankets, of course, in NASCAR, in American racing, in most forms of racing. In fact, it's just those European formats with those very fast cars that have those hybrid systems that tend to have those fancy tyre blanket things. And in my honest opinion, they kind of ruin it as well. I think driving on cold tyres is a absolute skill, and it's something that really I wish we'd see more of.
Oh, come on, Carl, everyone loves an electric blanket. Would you prefer to put a water bottle on it?
So I think an ice pack on the tyres before they go out would be much more exciting. That would be.
We have seen that as well, of course.
Yes.
Ice on tyres to try and cool them down in temperatures that are too hot. So it does happen. There's been a big shout out for the After Dark car, so better give the fans what they want. We're having a look here again at Luke, and he's just recovering well. He had a little bit of an incident, but he's back up into P11. You can see some damage on the front of the truck there. Chrome plated number livery. Looks very good according to High Glue. Agree with that one. Does look good.
Danny G just making his way past in the Mitch Motorsport, the orange Mitch Motorsport car, not quite the metallic orange of the number on Luke Georgeson, but Danny G making his way through in the orange and black Mitch Motorsport car, getting a nice move done there on Luke. Of course, Luke, one of the newer drivers to the series, and been making some good waves, so had some fantastic runs and been running very well as well, so definitely one to keep an eye out for the future. Meanwhile, it's only Riley Curtis that's really come into pit lane. We've got he's currently just getting out there on his first lap out, so we'll see how he goes in a short while, see how much quicker he is on those fresh tyres. I imagine there will be a vast difference in time on there, and it wouldn't surprise me to see a few of the front runner drivers just to start thinking about coming into pit lane. You might see somebody like Luke Trahair possibly doing it, or even Cade Donnelly. I'd say Cade Donnelly is probably a big suspect for it, because he would get quite a big advantage coming in now. He might get a good run.
Yeah, absolutely. The gap's just closing as well between Skirley and Capel. So, just see it there. It's just closed up ever so much. Just a few tenths here or there from Capel over a couple of laps. So he's doing very well. A bit of damage actually on that. Skirley's had an incident in that truck. There's a massive amount of damage to the right hand front corner and right hand side of the 350 car.
Yeah, I was just having a look at that. I'm just going back in time to have a little look at that, and that was a couple of laps ago into the first corner. He's just gone a little bit. He's just got a bit tight going into that first corner. Say tyres just getting a little bit on the worn side, and he's just not been able to rotate the truck enough. Just going over the brow of the hill, and it's just caught him out a little bit, straight into the edge of that corner, just on the exit of pit lane, and that's the reason he's got that big chunk of truck missing. So really affecting, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. And you can see Capel already catching up to him. Capel is really catching up behind him now and setting some good pace there. Watch out on this one, because I think Capel's going to actually move past Skirley if it keeps this way, and I think Skirley's probably going to have to think about getting something done in pit lane, because I think that's affecting it a little bit. Probably a bit of suspension damage done to it.
A little bit of steering, and as well, Schultz now tyres sort of coming back to Trahere. That gap widened and out to nearly a second. Yeah,
Schultze just getting a bit loose as he got into the first corner there. That rear end just stepping out on him. He just had to catch that one. Quick hands of Aidan Schultz, but that truck is becoming a little bit of a handful. Not the easiest thing to handle at the moment, but he is doing a good job just keeping it on the track, keeping it on the black stuff at the moment. But Luke Trahare's definitely got a bit more pace, saved a little bit more tyre in that vehicle. To give you an idea of the speed difference at the moment, Riley Curtis out there, quickest guy on track, setting a 26 dead. Meanwhile, you've got it's not that big of a 25.8 for Riley Curtis. There we go, that's better. My timing just needed to update. So around about a second quicker than most trucks out there. Not a huge difference at the moment though. A lot of the trucks still in the 26s, so Skirley, Capel, Schultz, Trahere and Donnelly setting 26.4s, 26.6s. So only a second quicker for Riley Curtis, but that is going to help him out a little bit. Andrew Dyson, meanwhile, is still able to set the quick times. He just set a 25.7. So Dyson has still got some life in those tyres. So obviously its drop-off is not as bad as we expected tonight.
How will they go with fuel? Is there a chance he won't stop?
Not sure.
Not sure?
I did not get a chance to do any practicing or chat to anybody beforehand. Usually...
I just wonder, because he's 13 seconds up the road from Michael Skurlock. So by the time he does the pit lane transition, and he's still faster than Skirley and Capel behind him, he might be able to just manage the race out with no stops, which would be extraordinary.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
So Luke Georgeson's into pit lane. Looks like he just had a small incident actually, so we'll just have a quick look here. Probably on the entry into pit lane. Try to go down underneath Riley Curtis. Looks like he's just got on the gas a little bit quick there. Just rotated the rear. The 274. He's decided that means it's time to jump into pit lane. Those rear tyres will be cooked. So getting new tyres put on the 274, and he is back out of the lane. We've got 11 to go here, so still plenty of time for people to make their moves. Skirley has just widened the gap ever so slightly over Lachlan Capel. Aidan Schultz though still under pressure from Luke Trahere behind him.
Yeah, so fuel-wise should be fine. So apparently they're okay for fuel. It's just going to be tyres. So sorry, I was just having a bit of a check of that out through some of the sources. Oh well, actually no, I'm wrong, because my source is actually wrong timing on there. So yeah, fuel is just on touch and go, because Dave Douglas has just had to pit for fuel. So Double D he was running a little bit short on fuel, and he's had some trouble. So unfortunately, Double D, Dave Douglas, has had to pull out of the race. So that's who I was actually trying to track down on the socials and just have a little bit of a sneaky look to see how it was going. And it was a little bit behind. So we know that some of these guys are very good at fuel saving. So it's probably going to be only by a couple of laps or so if they're going to be tight on fuel. But it's how well they can save fuel, and we've seen it before. We've seen it time and time again in the series. Some masterful fuel saving attempts, even getting to a stage where you run out at turn 3 and still make it to the end, side by side with people across the line, a la Skurlock in the Xfinity series last week. They're just waiting to come in, wait wait for sort of a little bit to come in. Stevie Dubb coming into pit lane though, so Stephen Williams is coming into pit lane, so we'll see how that one goes. I think one of the drivers this is going to help out quite a lot is going to be Riley Curtis. So Riley Curtis is going to jump up a fair few positions, and with these guys leaving it so long to come into pit lane, they might not have the time to actually catch back up and make a move. Meanwhile, Kay Donnelly is making a move on Luke Trahair, so they're side by side coming towards the bus stop. Donnelly is in front and makes the corner. Doesn't quite do it. Just catches Trahair, turns in a little bit early. There, Trahair was not giving up that corner, but fair contact there. In all honesty, Trahair could have braked a little bit earlier there because Kay Donnelly had that corner. It was a very, very close one there, but Donnelly was not going to be giving up that corner for sure. And Trahair just getting caught up a little bit. Donnelly having to go across the old sausages, and that's probably going to cost him a slowdown, but he has made it across there. Yeah, I think there might have been a tiniest bit of netcode involved in that as well, because it just looked like almost like there was a buffer of air just spinning Luke around in that one, so it was very close there. Meanwhile, you've got Skurlock having to defend from young Lachlan Capel right over the back of Skurley at the moment as they get past Maddie Ray, I think it is. So those two are absolutely back at it, and Capel is caught right up to the back of Skurley. Meanwhile, Christopher Finley making a move on Jason Martin. Good drive from Christopher Finley. Very quiet tonight, the Simboys driver of the 104. The yellow Simboy, of course, making his way up through the field, just getting past Jason Martin. A nice little move there. And he's going to be trying to catch up to Luke Trahair as well. But the battle between Skurley and Capel, I think, is going to be an interesting one. And Kay Donnelly has got past Aidan Schultz as well. So Schultzy getting caught up. A little bit of a mistake coming out of the second chicane. So making a bit of a mistake, and that's cost him dearly. Donnelly just catching right up to him. So Schultz, I think, possibly getting a slowdown penalty. Just going back to have a look at that one. Or no, it just got completely out wide, rubbed it against the wall, just didn't have the exit speed off there. And it gave Kay Donnelly the chance to get past. So in a space of a couple of laps, Kay Donnelly has gone from 6th position to 4th. Really nice drive from Donnelly. Good run tonight for Donnelly in the number 40 Simboys entry. Remember, Riley Curtis on those fresher tyres. We've got 6 laps remaining. We're on lap 24 of 30. But Riley Curtis is on those much fresher tyres now, and he's starting to work his way up through the field. So if anyone needs to dart into pit lane, this is going to help Riley Curtis out huge amounts.
And usually we have an issue for Matty Ray. Quite a dirty looking truck for him. They just locked it up. Got crossed up, going into the bus stop.
Big spin there for Matty Ray. That's not what you need to have happen. That's it's not been his night tonight, and not the night he would have hoped for as well. I mean, you know, things have not gone all Matty Ray's way tonight, and we often see him working his way up through the field. Not quite tonight, as Aidan Schultz makes a big mistake as well. A second mistake for Schultzy, just getting through the infield section, just getting up over turn number 5, I think it was. Just gets onto the grass. Big moment there as that rear loops out. He manages to keep it. He's still ahead of Luke Trahair though, but that gap has closed, and that's given Kay Donnelly a nice bit of breathing space. Meanwhile, Riley Curtis has just got past Scotty Griffiths. So Riley Curtis is right on a charge at the moment. He's going to be catching up to Josh Micklemore within a bit of time. So there's a bit of a gap there between Micklemore and Curtis, but that will start to close up, I'm sure. So
that's those fresh tyres coming into play.
Yeah, it's really helping him out. And as I said, if these guys need to stop for fuel, they are going to be in a spot of bother. So we know that pit lane transition time, obviously for tyres, is about 40 seconds. If you take tyres out the equation, it's a little bit quicker, of course. You don't have to change tyres. You can just chuck some fuel in there. But looks like these guys have been fuel saving like absolute bosses tonight and might be able to make it. So it could be one of those moments where we see a few people cough and splutter across the line and maybe not make it, but it is going to be very close. You can see there Scully and Capel absolutely fighting it out still. This has been a race-long battle, ladies and gentlemen, as well. This has been going on all night long. The stamina shown between Scully and Capel, great job between the two of them. As Capel makes a move. Down the inside, he's going to stick that one. Scully has to take across the inside there. He's going to take a slowdown, I'm sure, and he'll probably lose that position. So he'll let him through here because Scully will be like, look, I lost that one fairly. I think Capel's actually like, no, I want to pass you actually properly. He's just sitting back there. I heard Scully across the radio being like, look, just go through. But Capel wants to actually make the move on merit, so this battle is absolutely on. They are just having fun out there at the moment.
Maybe just preferring to follow along than have to defend?
Well, one of the things, Capel might be running a little bit shy on fuel, and just through the oval section, you just get a little bit of draft. So you might just give him that ability just to save a little bit. So that might be the thinking behind that one. He might be just like, okay, I don't actually want to be in the lead here. So that's the only thing I can think of, because he had that offered up to him on a plate. So yeah, that's interesting to see. That might be just how tight it is on fuel at the moment, that is the case. Meanwhile, Aaron Hayden's having a good battle with Ben Vickers at the moment, down for 22 and 23. Hayden, newcomer to the series, they just make a slight bit of contact getting out the corner. Side by side, Ben Vickers, the Juice Digital, and Aaron Hayden's gone round. Big incident for Hayden, unfortunately. Just lost it getting across put his foot down a bit too hard on those old tyres. The rear kicked out for the 59, and that's going to be some big damage there. Unfortunate for Hayden. Good debut, but unfortunately a little mistake there has cost him dearly.
Just trying to avoid the contact there. Ends up getting caught out.
Scully just getting a huge slide through turn number one. Rear end just stepping out huge amounts. He's basically drifting it through the corners at the moment because those tyres are absolutely dropping off. I think the cliff has absolutely hit Scully because he was just sliding it through the corners there. That's some skill keeping it actually on track for Scully. He's doing a great job at the moment as Aiden Schultz is just getting passed by Luke Trahair as well. So Aiden Schultz just having a little bit of bad fortune towards the end of the race. Another little moment for him. Still up there in P6 though. So things can still look like a top five. He's got Christopher Finlay behind him by about 10 seconds. Jason Marsh and Josh Micklemore in 9th. 10th is Riley Curtis. Riley Curtis is desperately trying to close that gap. With only 3.5 laps remaining though, I don't think it's going to be close enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's going to be able to get that done. 8 seconds to make up on Josh Micklemore. That's a huge gap to address over 3 laps. It's not going to happen. So at this stage looks like that's where he will finish. Worth the gamble though. Just not quite able to get it done. So Ultra Hair broken the gap here now. He's 1.4 seconds over Aiden Schultz. Lachlan Capel could make a change for P2. So we might just have a quick look at the gap there. Scully still on it with Capel behind him. So we'll stick with this battle for a little bit here.
They are so loose in the rear at the moment. It's all over the place. They are just holding on for dear lives as they try and get round each corner. You can see that rear just stepping out every time they get into the corner. Capel just behind him as well. Really struggling with keeping that truck pointing it in a straight line even. You just got to be so gentle on that accelerator pedal. You just can't be too rough with it because otherwise you're going to go round as Skirley just gets a huge slide through the corner. Look at that truck going round. He is able to keep it in a straightish line, but he is definitely struggling at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the tyres showing their wears.
Yeah, those tyres must be almost to the bursting point, I would say. They are very close. Indeed, Skirley makes a big mistake. Across he goes, and this is going to be it. Capel is going to get through the 018 up into P2. Michael Skurlock concedes and says, look, I can't keep up this pace. I can't keep battling like this. This is too hard. Meanwhile, Norman Clark almost gets into Luke Trahair. Trahair trying to catch up to Kay Donnelly at the moment. The battle is still on between those drivers. Donnelly, though, does have a bit of a gap. Aidan Schultz just behind him. And Christopher Finney is trying to catch up, but probably doesn't have enough time to do it in. As we've got 1.5 laps remaining. It is Daiso still in the lead of the race, trying his best. Lachlan Capel, now he's got some free air, is showing he's got some pace in that truck. Just set one of the faster laps of the drivers that are currently out there. He's down into the 127s, same as Andrew Dyson.
Yeah, absolutely. Donnelly still up in 4th position here. It's been a good night for him. So he is looking good to take that away. Skirley and Capel, what a great drive from these two, particularly Skirley with that damage on the right-hand front corner there. And Capel, just a rookie in the series, doing a ripping job here in P2. You see Dyson just off in the distance. So will be Andrew Dyson who will collect the white flag, and he will be on his way around to complete what has been a masterclass here at the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, absolute great drive so far from Daiso. He's still going to make it round one more lap though. Still got a bit to go. You know, we've seen stranger things happen in motorsport. It's not over until you cross that line and see that checkered flag, of course. How many times in motorsport have we seen a driver dominating a race and then all of a sudden lose it on the last corner or the last bit of straight beforehand? But you've got to say it's looking good for Daiso at the moment as he gets around there. There is a battle going on as Trahair is still trying to catch up to Donnelly at the moment. Trahair has got some good pace, must be said. He is catching a little bit. Other than that, it is pretty open out there. A big mistake for Riley Curtis. He's had a big spin going through the bus stops, and that's cost him a lot of time, and that's given Danny G the chance to catch up to him. So Danny G might be looking for a top 10 finish tonight, but it is with this man, Andrew Dyson for DPR, the Phoenix Smokers liveried car, coming up round the corner for one final time tonight. Just behind him, Aaron Hayden's engine lets go. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it to the end of the race. So shame for him, but Andrew Dyson crosses the line sideways and takes victory at the Roval.
It's a cracking run for Daiso. Lachlan Capel, he's going to come across the line shortly in second place. He's going to be 2.8 seconds in front of Michael Skurlock behind him. Luke Trahair doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it done into, well, in fact, there's been an incident there. Trahair's crashed. And that has handed it to Aidan Schultz.
But Trahair, he got into the wall on the entry into the corner, and that spun him around. So huge incident for Trahair. That's cost him a couple of positions because Christopher Finley got past as well. So Finley managed to move up there as well. So a good night for the Sim boys as Aidan Schultz crosses the line with Christopher Finley in 6th position. Luke Trahair 7th. 8th is going to be Jason Martin, and then Josh Micklemore will be coming across for the Mitch Motorsport team. Not a Mitch Motorsport dominant night tonight, but they managed to get 2 cars in the top 10 at least. 2 cars in the top 10, only 3 eyes between them.
Let's bring that incident with Luke Trahair up on screen and thank us for this. Does this coming down into the bus stop?
Watch him just snag the wall a little bit. He just gets a bit too close to the entrance to the wall there. He's trying his best to straight line that to try and catch Kay Donnelly. Can't quite do it and just makes that mistake going in. Manages to get the truck pointing back the right way, but too little too late. As you can see, Christopher Finlay just sneaking his way through there. Really nice run from Christopher Finlay from 10th to 6th position. 4 positions gained in the race. One of the bigger gainers. Biggest gainer of the race is Stephen Williams. 7 positions up to 14th position. And Maddie Raymond, 7 positions up in 21st. One of the higher big gainers is Danny G in P11, gained 6 positions. So some big gainers tonight, but it is Andrew Dyson taking the victory. Absolute masterclass from Dyso tonight.
Yeah,
and of course, just quickly, of course, if you want to hear more from Dyson, of course, make sure to catch the Cup when it is on. We have the pre-interview, of course, and it will be with tonight's winner, Mr. Andrew Dyson.
It's just doing his drifting, as we were hoping he would do. Getting involved there in the 041.
Look at that, he's just showing he's got stuff to spare. Look at that. Just showing off completely, and who can blame him? You know, we said it before, Dyson is an incredibly fast driver. We've seen it before. Ozpass as well. Dyso, of course, taking the win at Hockenheim last time out in the Enduro, giving that Ferrari its farewell, but coming here tonight and absolutely showing that he has it made for the Roval. So,
Andrew Dyson, Lachlan Capel, Michael Skurlock, your final podium for tonight. They will be joining us very shortly. Then it's Kate Donnelly, Age Schultz in the top 5 with Christopher Finlay and Luke Trahair. 6 and 7, Jason Martin, Josh Mickelmore, 8, 9, and Riley Curtis rounding out the top 10 with Danny G, Scott Griffiths, Troy Davison, Stephen Williams, Luke Georgeson, Matty Hunter, Lachlan Urquo. Then we've got Dwayne Priest, Luke Georgeson, and Norm Clark and Tristan Cock rounding out our top 20 finishes for tonight.
Yeah, good run from Luke Georgeson. Managed to make up he unfortunately lost a couple of positions from his qualifying place of 12th down to 15th, but another strong run in the series, and showing that he is improving that a little bit. A bit of course, road courses and these things not the easiest things to get around, but he's been having a good season so far. So joining us up in the booth are some people that are having a very good season at the moment. We'll start off for a traditional place of 3rd with Mr. Michael Skurlock. Welcome to the booth, Mr. Skurley. Congratulations on P3.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's exhausting, that is.
I was about to say, the young man behind you put you under a lot of pressure through that race.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me go. I was like, finally, there was a few parts of the race where I got a little bit of a gap, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Now I'm feeling it. Now I remember how to do this again, and hit a few apexes and then look behind and he's still right there. And I'm like, man. And then I started just getting like crazy on the brakes, trying to brake for that chicane, and the rear end's just swinging around and that. I was like, oh no. It just got harder and harder, to be honest.
It did not look easy out there at all for you, and yeah, it looked like a lot of pressure. Obviously, we saw that mistake going into just through turn number 1, just catching the front of the truck. Did that make much difference for you, or did you not notice the damage too much?
No, I did that a few times. I came out of that, out of that long extent where the pit exit is. Yeah, I bumped that wall coming out, but no, the tyres and all that was shot by then, so like you can't really tell the difference anyway. You're riding around on 4 plates of jelly, mate, by then. But I used I used to be able to just come into a road race and do all right, like without focusing on it, and like now they change the cars just enough all the time where it's like I've got to relearn. Like I don't really know what I'm doing out there. The whole time I'm just sort of hoping stuff works, man, while I'm driving.
Well, it kind of worked for you. I mean, P3 is not bad at all. I was going to say, one of the other things as well is competition is improving as well, which is, it doesn't make things easy for you, does it, Scully?
Yeah, well, I guess get rid of Dyso and I look pretty good, mate, out there, so maybe we just need to do that. Instead of me practicing more, just get rid of him.
That's it. Get rid of everybody faster, and then it'll look good for you. That's it. That's how we work. Look, you did a good run out there tonight. On paper, it doesn't look like much happened in the race. Of course, the top 3 finished in starting order, But there was a heck of a lot more involved in that than what we saw. That battle was fantastic stuff to watch. Obviously, no pit stop needed tonight. Were you thinking about possibly trying to come in for fresh tyres at some stage, or were you going to stick it out no matter what?
Oh, I did think, but then I was thinking, no, the times that you get don't drop off enough to warrant that. If I was maybe, I reckon Daiso could have pitted and pulled away even more because he already had a decent enough lead, and that could have been some interesting for him to do, just for fun. But no, there's no way I was doing it. If I was probably halfway back in the pack, I would have, just for, see what you can gain. But no, I wasn't. But yeah, kudos to Lockie there. He held in there. Obviously about halfway, I realised I'm probably just holding him up a bit. And yeah, at the end, he showed his tyres are obviously a lot better than mine at the end.
Yeah, no, a fantastic battle between you both, and we saw that little mistake over the chicane the first time it happened, and the battle kept on going between you two, which gave us some great entertainment on the stream. So thank you both for that one. But before I let you go, Mr. Scurley, the usual thing of shout out and love to all of your adoring fans.
Yeah, just shout out to the Banditos, BMX Banditos, you boys. FGM Ecast, ANZCAR, everyone that joins the races every week. Congrats to Daiso, and well done to Lockie there as well. Good work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scurley. Pleasure to have you up in the booth. I hope we'll get to speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll head to P2. Lachlan Capel, congratulations on that P2 finish there, mate. Putting the pressure on Scurley all the way through that race.
Yeah, I felt a bit bad because in the first chicane, or in the chicane where we had the kind of outbreak ourselves on, I thought that when my truck got loose, so I thought that I had hit him or blocked him from being able to overtake, and he went wide, but that was not the case. So in the spirit of competition, I let him go because I wasn't 100% sure whether or not I'd blocked or done something wrong, and I didn't want to get second like that. I wanted to work for it. I didn't just want to get it given to me, so I gave him the position back and kept on fighting. I knew from the beginning of the race it was going to be a manage of who could manage the tyres best, and I from my last ANZCAR debut, I was pretty decent at that, so it was just a matter of not slamming the throttle on and basically only using about half throttle for the entire race, especially on the exits of corners, and I'd say my start could have been a bit better. I could have pushed a little bit harder, but I ended up getting Scurley in the end, so it didn't really matter too much. But props to him for being able to be such a hard opponent to try and beat, and yeah, it was a very difficult race.
I was going to ask you, have you raced Scurlock before?
I think the only time I raced him was in the Xfinity race where he pit me by like 0.5 seconds or something from running out of fuel from the end of the race.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so really good race between you two, and as you said, spirit of competition coming in there towards the end. It looked like it was a heck of a battle. Did you enjoy yourself? That's the big question I've got to ask next.
I mean, I came in here just tonight just to have some fun. I had some fun, learning these cars is so difficult, and then at the end when you get to finish, you get to try and do some drifts on the dead tyres, so you have a little go at that. This league's really fun, and despite all the seriousness you get from the GT3 leagues and such, it's just another separate area of racing, and I very much enjoy it.
So, look, congratulations on another podium finish in ANZCAR. You're doing good on your debuts. Next, you have to try up in the Cup Series and see if you can get a podium in that one. Congratulations again, Lachlan. Well done. And before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to any sponsors and people listening in tonight.
Yeah, I'd love to come into the Cup Series at some point, but I have to wait my turn. I know there are many other drivers in the series who very much deserve it, so it's not my decision to call, but if I do get a spot, I'll take it. But yeah, I'd just like to thank FGM Ecast, you guys, for putting on week in, week out such great broadcasts, ANZCAR for doing this fun league, and Computer Technology Corporation for sponsoring me throughout my journey of sim racing.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Lachlan. I'm hoping we will get to speak to you again in ANZCAR at some stage.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Carl.
Next up, we will head to the winner of that race, one lonely Mr. Andrew Dyson. I kind of didn't see many people in that race, did you?
I saw lots of cars, but they weren't really the ones I was racing. Oh, that sounds really arrogant. I shouldn't say that. There's a few cars out there, don't worry, and everyone was doing a great job tonight.
Look, domination. We've said it a few times. We've seen a few dominant victories in the past. Tonight was one of those for yourself. You really just had it on top of things tonight. 24-second lead at the end. That is pretty good in most racing standards. But you've just got it nailed, haven't you, on these road tracks? You just seem to have that sort of you're in touch with the car almost.
Oh yeah, don't know about that. I just really enjoy these cars, man, and they're a lot of fun to throw around. The trucks in particular, they're a little bit softer than the that is softer sprung than the Cup cars. So you can throw them around a little bit and smash them over the curbs and stuff. Makes it really enjoyable. So yeah, I can get around it.
Yeah, and look, we know you're not a slouch on the old road courses. We were talking a little bit during the during the broadcast about that, but you've been improving on the ovals as well, and you've just been you're becoming a sort of a triple threat, you could almost say. You're becoming a threat on the ovals as well as the road courses pretty much now, and consistently up there or thereabouts. It's really been a fascinating watching you sort of progress on the oval side of things as well. Somewhere like the Roval, does the little bit of oval experience help you much here, do you find, or is it just completely null and void?
Oh yeah, probably not a whole lot, man. Like, to be honest, it's completely different type of thing. So anyone out there who kind of only races ovals, they come to a track like this that's, in the officials for a week or something, and they'll probably have a bit of a bad time. Unless, of course, they spend a bit of time practicing, anything's possible. But yeah, it's a completely different kettle of fish. And this track goes, pretty hard in most cars. So even in MX-5s, it's really hard just to get it just right. So supercars, even, like all that sort of stuff. And it's it's really front dependent. This track, you got to have a good front end on the car. And funnily enough, this thing didn't really have all that much front end in it. It felt pretty tight. But the balance actually got better throughout the race, so that might have helped. It certainly helped me. It might have helped a few of the guys out there tonight as the race went on.
As the rear tyres dropped off, it helped the front end a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fuel though as well. I don't really know a whole lot, but certainly like the rear tyres wore out more than the front tyres here. That's for sure.
No, look, great drive from you tonight. It's been a good couple of weeks for you as well on FGM Ecast. We've seen you up in the booth a few times, and I'm sure we'll get you back in the booth many times more throughout the towards the end of the year. Not putting any curses on you or anything like that, but look, congratulations on tonight. And before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast as always. Thanks to all the team at ANZCAR. Put the races on, not just these ones, the other races we have throughout the week, and been a great year so far. Hopefully we can have a good finish to the year. Hopefully I can get some chats to you boys in the right races. That is the Cup races coming up, but just got to get my head down with that. Thanks to all the boys in the team, and thanks to our sponsors, Simrix.com, Phoenix Smokers, South Ellis and Hoist, and all those other lovely supporters we have on the car that you see each week and in each league. Appreciate all your help, and looking forward to the Cup race this week.
No worries. Thank you so much, Dice. So pleasure to have you up here in the booth, and I'm sure we'll speak to you again in the not too distant future.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
So another great race, Stuart, and look, we had some great racing out there as well, all the way through the field. I mean, Dyson did take that victory by a fair amount, but the rest of the field was so close tonight. We saw racing all the way through. There was hardly a gap between most of the drivers tonight.
Yeah, really good racing throughout the field, as you'd expect, and a fantastic performance there from Daiso at the front. The sort of thing we come to expect from DPR and from Andrew and the team there. So a really good, strong result for him and for Lockie and for Michael as well. Good to see him back up on the podium for another week. So that's it for us tonight, Carl. A relatively early one by our standards with no cautions, but we're off tomorrow night with the week gap for the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. And then we will be off to the... where are we tomorrow? On Wednesday night with the Thunder Series, we're off to Vegas.
We've been to Vegas.
Sorry, we're off to Talladega. We're off to Vegas with the
Yes.
Cup. We're off to the 1 week difference has thrown me out on the schedule. We're off to Talladega. So we've got another race coming up there with the Thunder Series, equally entering halfway through its second season, and then obviously back with the Cup on Thursday night with the usual format that you'll see there. And in fact, we've got that man Andrew Dyson on the driver interview as well. So join us on Thursday night if you're not around on Wednesday. And other than that, that is it for us tonight for another night. Thank you to you, Carl. And we will see everyone back here on Wednesday night from 7:45 on FGME Cast, your E-Place for Pace. Thanks very much for joining in, and we will see you then.